Happy Monday, guys. Okay, so there's been a ridiculous lack of trailers and movie trailers and game trailers the last couple of days. So I thought I would take this time to kind of talk about a close love of mine, the Final Fantasy series. Actually, recently I've been watching the Brotherhood anime series. I don't know if anyone knows, but Final Fantasy 15 is kind of coming up pretty soon. There's this whole in quotations, this universe that Square has kind of created around this game, with some a true multimedia product. They have like a movie coming out, Kingsglaive. They have an animated series. It's 3 episodes in. It's Brotherhood. I think there's even a pinball type game on the marketplaces for the phone. Anyway, so they have this whole extended kind of universe, so to speak, around Final Fantasy 15. So I've always been a massive Final Fantasy fan. Trailed off in the later years. So there's only one game, Final Fantasy 13-2, that I did not play. Everything else I have played and experienced. So, however, I'm really looking forward getting back into Final Fantasy. This game just looks absolutely phenomenal. So I've also been kind of getting myself amped up. So that's kind of what I want to talk about right now is kind of dig into kind of the main story here in the first 3 episodes of Brotherhood and what I'm looking forward to. Also, I want to talk about, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but I want to actually talk about, there's this guy that was inspired by Final Fantasy 15, Yangbin or something like that. He created a game called, well, he hasn't finished it yet, but the game's called Lost Soul Aside or something like that, and looks absolutely phenomenal. So I want to take a couple minutes to kind of recognize that game as well, since it is inspired by Final Fantasy 15. So right off the bat, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Final Fantasy 15. It takes place on this planet called Eos. There's a bunch of different countries. The 2 in particular that a lot of the story revolves around is the country of Lucis, and the country of Niflheim. Niflheim. I always pronounce it Niflheim. Niflheim. Disclaimer: I don't know if all these are the correct pronunciation, so just be gentle in the comments. Anyway, so Lucis and Niflheim. Niflheim is very technologically savvy, so they kind of they're a little bit power hungry. So they actually control all of the world, all of the planet, except for the country of Lucis. And this includes other countries like the 3 other countries that they actively talk about in the universe is Tenebrae, Solheim, and Accordo. Anyway, so Niflheim controls all of these countries with the exceptions of Lucis. They negotiate. There's a lot of the story. I think the story of Kingsglaive, the CGI movie coming out next month, Kingsglaive, it revolves around the protector of Lucis negotiating a peace treaty with Niflheim. But long story short, there's a peace negotiation. On the eve of the actual treaty being signed, Niflheim actually seizes control of Lucis. They attack Lucis, and they actually take their crystal. So I haven't. This is kind of the weird thing. I haven't read a lot about the crystal, so to speak. So I'm not sure what that signifies. I don't know if the crystal is some sort of power source for the country, but so I got to learn more about that. I don't understand what it means to take a country's crystal, but yeah, that's kind of the foundation for the story. There's one of the main characters, Noctis. He's the son of the ruler and protector of Lucis. So his goal is obviously to help Lucis regain their freedom and take back the crystal, whatever the crystal is. And him and his friends actually set out to accomplish this. So a little bit of backstory: the Noctis, the son of the protector of Lucis, as part of the peace negotiations, he was supposed to actually marry the daughter. I forget what relation she was, but I think it was the daughter of the protector, Tenebrae, or the empire. It's under Niflheim control. Tenebrae, the country of Tenebrae. Lunafreya, she was the daughter of the ruler there. So Lucis was supposed to actually marry her as part of this peace agreement. Anyway, that all went to shit when they attacked. there's as part of the expanded universe, the game obviously revolves around adventures of Lucis and his friends. His friends actually, I think he travels with three different people. He travels with a guy named Gladiolus, who was essentially Noctis's protector. Prompto, which is a childhood friend of Noctis, very much the comic relief in the story, and also Ignis, which is Noctis's advisor, so to speak. So they all travel in this cool little drop top vehicle. Yeah, they set out to kind of retake the country. As part of the expanded universe, Kingsglaive, the CGI movie next month, that's obvious. That's gonna. I think that revolves around, if I'm not mistaken, the actual peace treaty and what went wrong with the peace treaty. And the game actually revolves around Noctis and the adventures to kind of take back the country. But also, there's this anime story called Brotherhood, Brotherhood Final Fantasy 15, which is kind of gives us a lot of the backstory behind Noctis and his friends, so to speak. So I kind of wanted this. I think it's a 6-episode season, so to speak, and the first 3 have been released so far, and I got a chance to watch those, and that's kind of what I want to talk about here. In episode 1, it's kind of like a precursor to the whole battle, or the whole taking over of Ifam's taking over of Lucis prior to the peace treaty. Kind of takes place before that. He's on the road. He's looking to meet up with Luna Freya, and he hears about the attack on the capital of Lucis, which is Insomnia. It's called Insomnia. Not sure. So there's some battling there where they actually fight off some of Niflheim's troops, which are Magitech troops, which I like. Final Fantasy 7. Cool. And there's also a couple. There's a scene where when he was younger, he was fighting this monster, and the monster ends up reappearing at the end of the first episode. Anyway, it was kind of cool introduction to the characters and stuff like that. The second episode, Dogged Runner, I think it was called Dogged Runner, Dog Running. It gives a lot of the story of Prompto, which is kind of the comic relief, his backstory. There's this whole instance where he, in the modern day, or in the present day, he finds this puppy that's injured, and it relates back to it. It's where he found the puppy, taking care of that puppy, and being obese, and his transformation from there, in Noctis's school, because he was a kid, he was a student, and as a result of all that, they ended up becoming unlikely friends. Prompto and Noctis. So that was kind of the backstory there. The third episode, Sword and Shield, that's the last one that came out earlier this month, beginning of July. This is kind of the story of Gladiolus's story, or backstory, how he became Noctis's protector. He's always been kind of Noctis's protector, assigned for him, teaching him to fight, all that good stuff. He didn't like him initially, but he kind of grew on him. And the big turning point of that story was, to be his guardian, was he prevented Gladius' sister Iris, I think, from getting in trouble. Noctis took the blame. From that, that's how their friendship. All in all, the actual Brotherhood storyline, it's providing a good backstory. So this is kind of getting me pumped up. It's an anime, is an actual cartoon. It's it's not anything spectacular. Sorry if I offend anybody, but it's kind of, it feels like there's nothing too, I guess special about it, but it does give some backstory, which is appreciated, and it's good too because they actually it's getting some a little bit of press too, so it's kind of build up here. Anyway, so that's kind of the story behind Brotherhood. Kingsglaive is coming out next month, which is it's pretty exciting. I actually back when I was in college, one of the animators on the original Final Fantasy movie, Spirits Within, came and kind of showed us some clips ahead of time, and we were always like, because we were in film and television class, we were always like, this looks so amazing, and blah blah. I mean, obviously it's like 10 years later, 15 or 10 years later. This looks absolutely phenomenal as far as photorealistic characters. So anyway, but I'm looking forward to seeing kind of the takedown of this story. So on that note, there's a lot of good stuff here. Once Kingsglaive comes out, I want to do another video and kind of talk about that and see where everyone stands. So if anyone's out there a fan, I'd love to talk about this stuff. If anyone else is a Final Fantasy fan, they feel like this is literally going to be kind of the turning point here, I'd love to have a discussion with you guys. So I'm a big fan. I've always been Last thing I want to mention is, and I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, is this guy, as I said, Yangbin. I think I'm, again, forgive me if I'm not pronouncing that. I need to give a shout out to this because it's absolutely amazing. I saw it on my news feed the other day. He was inspired by a couple years ago. He was inspired by Final Fantasy 15. It's been in development forever. I think it's actually been in development since like 2006 or something. So Yangbin was inspired by this, and he actually used the Unreal Engine 4, I believe it's 4. He started creating his own Final Fantasy 15 inspired movie, and it like the first 15 seconds I was like, okay, like the textures and stuff, it looks, it's like a 5-minute trailer, but I'm gonna actually link the trailer in the description. So if you guys haven't heard about this or seen this, please do yourself a favor, take a look at it and watch it all the way through, okay? Because what this guy has accomplished in 2 years, it's just him, 2 years with the Unreal Engine, and what he's accomplished so far looks absolutely amazing. I mean, there's a lot, like there's a scene at there's a scene where it looks like to be a summon, and there's like a pentagram forming on the ground, but the camera's like moving with the pentagram, the motion of the pentagram while it's being drawn. A lot of the action seems like very Devil May Cry-ish. It's kind of open. It's kind of it's this open world. The particle effects and the actual weapons effects in the game look absolutely great. Like it's really beautiful. The other really cool thing about Lost Soul Aside, that's the name of it, Lost Soul Aside, is it looks like you have this pet or this advisor, and it's this crystallized dragon that kind of floats around you and stuff. And there is this ridiculous scene where it actually forms onto your back and forms like wings, right? And you could like fly with it. It's design wise, it's absolutely incredible. Like it feels so good. Like it feels like it. Anyway, it's a work. It really is a work of art. I'm glad it's getting some recognition here. So I just wanted to give a shout out to that. Again, check it out in the comments or in the description. It needs to be seen. That's it. That's in the light. There hasn't been a lot of trailers to react to. So I really want to take the time and have this discussion about kind of Final Fantasy 15, the expanded universe of Final Fantasy 15. I'm glad they're doing something with this. I'm glad they're putting out some media projects aside from the actual main game to kind of get us excited. I'm looking forward to saving the country of Lucis. So, like, comment, please. Let's have a discussion, and I will see you guys on the next reaction video. And I'm out.